point. Dropping alpha, dropping F-bombs, but it's a tough act to follow. However, we have someone in this room, a CMO, who broke crypto Twitter a couple of weeks ago with the ad that lit up our competitors potentially. And I'm very pleased to introduce Marc Vanlerberghe, our CMO, Algorand Foundation. Let's give it up. Hey, morning. Hello.
Hey.
You guys take Bitcoin, right?
Sure do.
I'm going to be paying with Ethereum, if that's okay.
Okay, yep, no problems.
It's a good thing I'm paying with Solana.
You can go ahead and tap.
And there we go.
Oh, it failed. Try it again. Whoa, hold up there, Smart. It looks like it's going to be another 27 minutes before this transaction clears.
What?
Sorry, $112? I have like 3 things.
Ethereum, they got that peak hour gas thing.
There you got it.
Maybe one more time. What are you going to do? Just wait right here, without the bag, without the bag.
I think it's going to work this time.
Nope. Should have shot with Algorand.
How do I get in that line?
Very nice. Very nice, Mark. Very nice.
That was
But
fun. That was fun.
I'm sure it was fun, but how much did that cost?
Oh, not a lot actually. We tried to be very scrappy with it. It was about $23,000 or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
very right.
Yeah.
Very nice. And will we see another one? Soon?
Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe.
Maybe the community will.
Maybe.
Send some
Maybe.
ideas?
Who knows? Who knows?
Right. Thank you.
Okay, well, good morning everyone here. And I'm looking at the camera. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening to AlgoFam. I hear there's thousands of people watching this in live stream, so excited to be here with all of you. You know, it's only been 3 months since I've been here, and I'm incredibly grateful for the warm welcome that you guys have given me. And, you know, it kind of reminded me of my days when I was at Google and I was running Android marketing. For us, our developer ecosystem was everything. And I think the same is true here. I think the community that we have here is very special, and I feel quite honored to be part of it all. So, let's talk about marketing. So this is what I'm going to talk about. And because I'm a marketing guy and I don't like bullets, I put it in a nice house. And so, but there's also a meaning behind it. So at the bottom of the foundation, you have the data, right? And the data is really, really important in a blockchain environment because the data will signal to everybody how good your blockchain and how good your ecosystem is performing. So data is really the foundational layer of everything. And then on top of the roof, you have the brand and the messaging. And it's the roof because it basically covers everything. And whatever stories you're telling, or whatever marketing activities you want to deploy, you want to make sure your brand and your messaging is consistent and the stories you're telling are consistently told. So that's why it's kind of the roof. And that at the heart of the house really sits the ecosystem. And the ecosystem consists of users, it consists of developers, and it consists of our community. And so the role of marketing, as I see it, is to really help grow that ecosystem, acquire more users, onboard more developers, and grow our community. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And so let's dive in. Let's start with fix the data. So this is an important topic. And this has been a topic that I think has been a bit challenging for us in the past, because some providers out there don't mention Algorand or don't cover Algorand. Some providers have outdated data, and some providers actually have wrong data, like for instance our transaction count, which is not reported in the correct way in many instances. And so this is a very important area that we want to cover. But I have good news to share with you on this topic. So first announcement, we're actually launching a completely new metrics hub on our website. And that metrics hub will be the central source of information for all data as it relates to Algorand. It will have a few dashboards that shows you transaction count and everything. But more importantly, it will also have links out to trusted third parties for detailed metrics about our DeFi activities or our RWA assets or anything that relates to basically the activity on our chain. We will basically link to outside resources that are trusted, that we have validated, and that provide the right amount of information. So having this centralized metrics hub on our website actually will help provide a trusted source of information about all things Algorand. So we're very excited about that. So that's number one. Second thing, we're announcing a partnership with Nansen. And Nansen is one of the top 3 analytics platforms in the industry. So Nansen is very well known for their real-time statistics and their real-time insights, and they're trusted by investors, by traders, by the media, who are looking for neutral information about how a blockchain is performing. And so being on Nansen is critically important for us, and so we're super, super excited about this partnership. And so this is one of the dashboards that we're working with them on to create. Nansen will go live later this summer. And besides the dashboards, it will also include a lot more information. So for instance, it will include information, we'll do co-marketing with them. So they will basically figure out interesting insights about our ecosystem and our platform, and then we'll co-market them together. Secondly, they'll do ecosystem spotlights, so they'll take particular projects and highlight them and show them how the data that they generate is interesting. And thirdly, which also is interesting for all of you, is that it allows you to create custom dashboards. You can create your own dashboards on the Nansen platform to highlight whatever metrics that you want to highlight. And we're planning on launching a training session for all of you later this month or early next month to kind of teach you how to basically integrate those dashboards in your own message flows. So we're very excited about that. So that's the second thing. Third thing, we continue to work with Messari. Messari, as you probably know, produces quarterly reports on the state of Algorand. And so we will continue to work with Messari to make sure that those reports are accurate and accurately reflect the activity on chain. And Messari is an important partner for us because their quarterly reports are trusted in the crypto industry. They're kind of a standard in the crypto industry. So we're excited to continue to work with them. So that's number 3. And last but not least, let me talk about Project Fix the Data. This is a community-driven project that we launched a couple of weeks ago. And the idea was to work with our community to identify sources of information that are wrong or outdated, and work with our community to go fix them. And so I want to highlight one particular element or one particular data point that was particularly challenging for us, and that's the active developer count. As you probably know, if you look at the reports on active developers, Algorand doesn't score very well. Does it mean we don't have a lot of active developers? I mean, if I look around this room, I would say, yeah, we have plenty of active developers, so why aren't they counted? And we're not counted because a lot of the methodology that is used for calculating active developers is using repos, GitHub repos, and making sure that those repos get reported. There's one company that does that called Electric Capital. And so as part of Fix the Data, we basically encouraged all of our developers to post their open source repos to Electric Capital. And they let us know that over 86 new repos have been posted in the last couple of weeks. And I think that's really important because I think in the next couple of weeks they'll produce a new stats, and hopefully we'll see a boost in the number of active developers that are reported on Algorand. So I'm very excited about that. But at the same time, I see a lot more than 86 people here. So this is also a call out to all of the developers here to look at your projects. And if you haven't open sourced your project or open sourced a part of your project, you should seriously consider about doing that, because I think it fits with the ethos of blockchain industry, the crypto industry in general, and having more eyes on your code makes for better code. So we would encourage everyone to look at their code, and if it's not open sourced yet, seriously consider open sourcing it and reporting it to Electric Capital at the same time. So that's Project Fix the Data. Let's move on to the next one. Brand and messaging. So we spent a lot of time over the last couple of months thinking through what's our core value proposition as a blockchain, and also think about the Algorand Builder. What does the Algorand Builder stand for? What are some of the attributes associated with Algorand Builder? Those are the kind of 2 key building blocks of how you set up a brand. And so we've come up, and we've talked to a lot of people about this, and so this is what we ended up with. Our value proposition as a blockchain, I think, is very, very clear. It's super simple. We enable blockchain solutions at real-world scale. That is what we stand for. It's very clear. And we are not a blockchain that's in beta. We're not a blockchain that is being in test mode. We are a blockchain that scales right now, and so we are ready for real-world scale. That, to us, is like the core of what we stand for, and also our core differentiator. And then if you think about the Algorand Builder, we start thinking about, okay, what are some of the attributes that are associated with an Algorand Builder? And I think we have a couple of on here. I think an Algorand Builder is really driven to solve hard problems. We're not here to do little things. We're here to do big things. Secondly, all of us, we have our feet firmly planted in the real world. And I think that's really important, and it kind of aligns with our value proposition as a blockchain. We're change makers. We're not here to kind of push for the status quo. We're change makers. And the fourth one is we're in a relentless pursuit of impact. It's not just that we do like random stuff. We're really looking to have impact in the world. And that, I think, signifies like who we are as a community and who we are as a brand. And this kind of forms the cornerstone of what the brand is all about. And let me show you how we try to bring that to life. This is a short animation that basically brings this idea of this brand to life. As you can see, we heavily lean in on the idea of scale, right? The second thing you'll notice is that a lot of the imagery that we use is real-world imagery. So this is not some cyber funky, nerdy thing. This is about the real world, and it's about using real footage in the real world. It's about using humans. It's about using people in your marketing, which is like shocking. Most of the blockchain ads that you see have no people in them. It's all like this weird, like crypto. Like, no, I think this is real stuff. This is the real world, and we're talking about the real world. And so we want to bring in much more human photography. We want to bring in more human images into it. We want to make sure that you, as the builder, are represented in all of the marketing that we do. So that's how we're thinking about this. So now let's talk a little bit more about the brand itself. So today, we are announcing a complete refresh of our brand. And actually, this is probably not a surprise to you, but if you look around you, you can actually see that the colors kind of have varied a little bit more. It's not just all teal. We started adding more colors to it. And if you think about the brand, there's really 3 components to it. There's the logo itself, there's the colors that kind of accompany it, and then there's the system, like all the system, how the kind of brand behaves and how the motions are done and everything. And so the logo we won't touch. I think the logo is great the way it is. Color palette, we started changing it a little bit. Besides going with all teal, we started adding a second color, kind of this beautiful blue color to it, to give it kind of more power and make it more visually striking. And then the third thing we did is, as you saw in the animation that just finished, is we started working with shapes and looked at we were inspired by the A of Algorand and started cutting it up and creating multiple shapes and making those shapes move, and then filling those shapes with more kind of like real-world footage. And that's how the whole kind of brand system comes together and becomes much more alive and vivid. And actually what you see here around you is all this new brand, right? If you see these shapes here, these shapes and these shapes, these are all part of the kind of the new branding that we've come up with and that we're launching today. So I hope you like that. And there's more. We want this to be your brand. This is not just about the foundation. This is the ecosystem brand. We want this to be your brand. And so we're adding even more color to the whole system. We added these oranges and we added these yellow accents. And these, like any content that you guys produce that you want to basically be in line with the branding overall, you can use this very, very rich color palette. And so we've asked a couple of like terrific NFT artists to create some artwork that basically brings this to life. And you can see how it works. You can see all these gorgeous colors, all like very rich in nature, and this is all becoming part of the overall palette of the brand that is basically your brand, not just ours. It's our brand as a community. And actually, this whole Algorand kit is available on our website, so you can actually download all of these assets and use them in your campaigns in whatever way or format that you want. So, talking about websites, I've mentioned website twice now. And John kind of preempted me in his presentation. That was not the deal. It's like, John, what's up with that? So anyways, so I was going to announce, and this is not news anymore, but John preempted me, a new website. We have a completely new website. Payback. At some point there will be payback. So anyway, so we're launching a completely new website. And there's also a new URL. The URL is algorand.co, algorand.co. And the big difference with the previous website, besides the new branding that's part of it, but the big fundamental difference is that this is no longer a foundation website or it's an Inc. website. No, it's a community website. It's an ecosystem website. It's the website for Algorand, the project. And so it's organized as such. So we want to have a website where anybody that's new to Algorand, whether you're a user, you're a developer, you're a builder, you're an investor, and you want to learn about Algorand and you want to see an easy on-ramp, you go to the website, you can learn about the project. And so you can see everything is organized actually by journey, by user journey. So there's a Get Started button, there's a developer button that shows you the developer trajectory. And so everything is organized by journey. So we hope that people will enjoy and will like this website. And please bear with us. We launched it today. I'm sure there'll be bugs. So bear with us. We're going to quickly go in and fix anything that you notice. But hopefully, I think it's looking great, and I'm very excited about the work that has gone into it. I can tell you it's a massive amount of work to completely build a new website. So we're excited that we got it done in time for Decipher. Okay, that's the website. So as you can see, a big part of this website is the Algorand ecosystem directory. So we really want to feature our projects in the best possible way. And so as we start preparing later this year, a bigger marketing campaign, an awareness campaign that lifts the profile of Algorand, we want to make sure our projects are front and center in all of it. And so this is really important to us. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to basically celebrate all of the projects that we have, we put them on a pedestal, and we will make them part of a bigger awareness campaign. So we're very excited about that. And actually, the Decipher conference is a really important moment for us because you guys are all here, and so we want to capture as much content as we possibly can from all of you. So we will be recording all of the sessions that are happening at Decipher. On top of that, we have 3 24/7 recording studios set up on the I get confused, is it first floor or second? First floor for the Europeans, second floor for the Americans. So because here we're on the ground floor, first floor. Anyways, I probably confused you all. So let me make a, yes, it's one up. Yes, it's one up, one floor up. So we have 3 studios, dedicated studios there, where we're going to record as much content as we possibly can from all of you to be used later in our marketing campaigns. And the last piece, and this is also very much ecosystem related, is we want to basically amplify all the news that you create. If you have announcements to do, if there's news coming from you, we want to make sure we amplify it. So we're going to double down on PR investments to make sure we can lift your profile and lift the Algorand's profile at the same time by highlighting and amplifying all the news that you create. And so you'll see I think we have 4 or 5 press releases going out today and tomorrow. The summary press release that will launch at the end of Decipher, I think we'll have something like 27 project announcements in there. So we're very happy to be able to do this and incorporate all of your projects and all the press that we do. Okay, let's move on to ecosystem. And so I'm not going to go left to right. I'm going to go to the center of the house. And the center of the house, of course, are the developers. And so let's talk about that. As John said, with the launch of AlgoKit, we have a massive opportunity to really be attractive to Python developers. And so from a marketing perspective, we've been investing heavily in attracting Python and raising awareness amongst the Python community. And it's a big opportunity, right? There's only about 30,000 active Web3 developers. There's 8 million Python developers. So it's a really big opportunity for us. And so the initial effort that we've done over the last couple of months together with our community, I think is already bearing fruit. we've basically achieved a reach of over 1.5 million people through the community outreach that you guys have done, the messages that you have spread all over Twitter and YouTube, and also amplified by the marketing ad spend that we've done. So we had a reach of over 1.5 million, which is quite substantial in a short amount of time, about 2 months. Secondly, we saw a huge increase in our AlgoKit downloading page. We had 240,000 sessions to our AlgoKit download page, which is a really, really important number. Our developer activity increased by 50% since the beginning of this year. And we had close to 3,000 people sign up for our bootcamps. So I think these are good numbers to start. But we're only 2 months in, and we want to go much further than this. And so there's a couple of new initiatives that we want to do later this year. First is, we're actually going to work with Python key opinion leaders to create custom content. Because of course, putting a display ad in front of a developer, as you all know, is not necessarily the most effective marketing technique. Because who likes advertising, right? Like, nobody likes advertising. So using just regular display banners is not going to be the most effective way. So what we're going to do in the second phase of the campaign is we're going to work with Python key opinion leaders to produce custom content, tutorials, or video guides, etc., and spread those within the Python community. That's the first thing. The second thing we're going to do is record a lot of dev-to-dev, what we call dev-to-dev content, developer-to-developer content. And so we want to hear from you. Like, we want to hear and learn about your experience. How has it been to develop on Python? Like, what worked for you? What was challenging? Did it go better? Did you move faster? Like, we want to hear your stories about how you've been using Python to develop on blockchain. And we want to record those and put them out there as dev-to-dev, what we call dev-to-dev content. And one of the 3 studios I mentioned to you is dedicated to dev-to-dev content. So if you have a story to tell, if you have experience in doing Python, and you haven't been signed up for a session in our studio, please reach out to me or reach out to Chris, who's our head of content and who's sitting right there. Stand up, Chris. And he will get you signed up for a session to tell your story so that we can then use it later to promote it to Python developers. And then the third thing we'll do is be more present at Python conferences and at big developer conference. We started this with PyCon a couple of months ago. And so the next big one that we're going to is We Are Developers in Berlin. And so we've basically recrafted our messaging to Python developers. So far, we've been talking about Python on blockchain, creating awareness. You can now develop Python on blockchain. But we want to go one step further, and we want to basically go speak to the developers in a more personal way. And I think it's going to be an interesting messaging, because what we're going to talk to them about is like, hey, you're a Python developer. Things in the Web 2 world are not that easy for you. Like, with what's happening with AI, your job is not that secure anymore. Like, Google is firing people and Amazon is firing people. And actually, guess what? When you're like working for one of these big companies, you don't own what you make. And so you should really think about owning what you make. And that is the key message that we're going to go out with. Stop developing on quicksand and own what you make. And so you should be thinking about blockchain, because that's the platform that you can use to create your own innovations and own what you make. So I think this is a pretty powerful message. And so we're hoping that will resonate well with the developers in Berlin. By the way, I love this line here. Tech layoffs were 59% higher in 2023. Still think Web3 is too unstable. Isn't that funny? I thought it was funny. Okay, anyways, moving on. Users, let's talk about users. So, as I mentioned, we're going to do a bigger brand campaign, awareness campaign, to raise Algorand's profile. But I think that's not enough. What we ultimately want is we want users to come and download the Para wallet and start doing transactions and activity on chain. And so I'm very happy to announce that we've partnered with Coinbase. You've heard about the company earlier today. We've partnered with Coinbase to launch a Learn and Earn program starting in roughly about 2 months ago. And the Learn and Earn program is designed to go after the Coinbase user base and basically convince them to try out Algorand. And this is not just learn and earn, like, okay, you should watch this video and then you'll get 10 algo or something. No, this is not it. This is not. What we want to do is we want to hold people's hands, and we want to get them to do activities and transactions on chain. And we reward them for activity and transactions on chain, not for just watching a video. And so what that means, and there's 5 stages here, and this is work in progress, so these stages may change, but to give you an idea. So we want to hold people's hand and go through the entire experience, starting with downloading the Para wallet. Secondly, do a DeFi transaction. 3, download an NFT. 4, maybe participate in governance. 5, maybe participate in node incentivization, so we can kind of lock them in and make them loyal to the Algorand blockchain. Again, these are ideas. They may change, but you get the idea. The idea is big awareness campaign, and then followed up with a user acquisition campaign that really holds people's hands and get them to basically run transactions on the network and experience the power of the Algorand blockchain. So that's our Learn and Earn program. We're excited about that. I think it's going to launch August, September timeframe. Okay, last part. We're almost there. Almost there. Community. So, AlgoFam, obviously. AlgoFam. I love AlgoFam. So we have a big community, and you guys are very active. You're active on YouTube. You're active on X, of course. Active on Reddit. And we're super, super excited to engaging with everyone on this and growing this community over time. And this is critically important for us because your voice is much bigger than my voice, and your reach is much bigger than the reach that I can handle from a marketing perspective. So I want to basically make the relationship between the marketing team here and the community stronger than ever, so that we can actually work together on spreading the word about Algorand. And to give me an idea about when you talk about the commercial, for instance, supermarket commercial, we had over 2 million views, and we didn't spend a single marketing dollar. All those 2 million views were generated by you. Were generated by you spreading the message. And this is really the secret power of Algorand, is having this community be engaged with us, be enthusiastic about the project, about the ecosystem, and basically spread the message. And I'm committed to making sure that I continue to engage with you, listen to you, and also give you the tools to spread this message far and wide. Okay, so that was a lot. So we talked about brand, we talked about messaging, we talked about fixing the data, new campaign coming, new user campaign, new developer campaign, partnership with Nansen, etc., etc. So we have a completely full agenda between now and the end of the year. But the overall thing I want you to remember, that my key mission here is to make sure that Algorand becomes part of the zeitgeist again. And I think you and I together, I am convinced that we can achieve this. So thank you very much.